introduce our speaker, Mr. Nazif Tejani, Lead Customer Relationship Marketing at Bestseller India. Mr. Tejani is a seasoned professional leading customer relationships and retention marketing, digital and social CRM, marketing technology at Bestseller India. With expertise in spanning CRM, customer lifecycle marketing, marketing technology, he has also contributed significantly to companies like Flipkart and Trent Hypermarkets. A huge round of applause to Mr. Nazif Tejani.
Good morning. I will just move on to this very interesting topic called customer retention, which is why we are all here today. So the thing is about this entire topic is I just want to go back and start to why is this important. And there are four primary reasons as to why customer retention is something which is very critical for all businesses. As our previous speaker, Mr. Gupta, mentioned, acquisition is very expensive, almost 5x of retaining a particular customer. And hence, retaining a customer, if it costs you just 20% of acquiring, it makes a lot of financial sense to do that. The other reason why I would actually ensure that retention is high for a business is that loyals buy more. When I say more, it's not just more products, it's more categories. So for instance, we run a business at Bestseller in fashion. People who are loyal buy almost 6 to 7 categories for us, as opposed to people who are new and who are just acquired who buy 1 or 2 categories. So loyals not only buy more across categories, they are more frequent, they are more willing to experiment with your brand, they are more willing to try out new products that you've launched. And if a new product is purchased by a loyal, then you will get some feedback out of it, which makes you realize whether that product is working or not for the largest set of your business. The third point why this is important is that beyond a certain point, if you manage to retain customers, your revenue or a large chunk of your revenue will be on autopilot. So what does this mean? Now, I'll give you the example of a hotel business, right? If I am able to get a customer to come in thrice to my particular chain of hotels, he has an outstanding experience, with my hotel. There is an 80% chance that in his next trip or his next vacation for leisure, he will choose my chain. And this is true for hotels. It's also true for fashion, and the numbers can vary. So in hotels, it may be 2 or 3 transactions. In a fashion business, it may be 5 transactions. Beyond 5 transactions, there is a very, very high rate at which this customer will be retained. And I, as a marketeer, and we as business leaders, may not need to do anything beyond a certain point to retain this particular customer. All we need to do is that virtuous loop or that virtuous cycle continues by keeping this particular customer retained for the first few transactions. So that's what we aim to drive, which is you get that customer from 0 to 1 and then from 1 to 5. Beyond that, the customer will take care of himself or herself. So that's the autopilot part of it. And lastly, I will move to the reason why retention almost, I think, 20 years ago now or 30 years ago now, was covered as something which drives the best businesses in the world. There was this very nice example by Toyota in this book called The Loyalty Effect, which was by a Bain & Company representative. So businesses which manage to retain customers or improve their retention just by 5%, they are able to grow their profits 25 to 95%, right? And that is insane. If someone tells me that I'm able to double my profits simply by moving my matrices by 5%, it's something that I should completely be focusing on, right? Because I'm talking about doubling my particular profit over there. The reason is simple, right? It adds up to the first point, that a retained customer, I don't need to spend too much on him to keep him in the business. A retained customer will do some things on autopilot. He will try new categories or she will buy new categories from me. And she will essentially, ensure that the health of my business continues to be in the way it is. So now that we know that why retention is important, I have picked, and there are many levers over here, I have picked 5 levers to talk about today as to how you can drive your customer retention strategy in your organizations. The first lever in this game is structure, right? What does structure mean? So structure is building in that software infrastructure, the hardware infrastructure, the teams around it, the technologies around it as well, building in capabilities within the organization, as well as outside with agency partners if required, as well as building out the fact that this particular function is important, right? So here I'm talking about not just building the infrastructure, but also building a responsiveness to why this is critical. And this is our job as retention leaders to land in our organizations. Structure, and now moving on to the technical part of it, it involves, let's say, setting up a customer data platform for your business, or a database where I can consolidate every piece of customer information. Whether it's who the customer is, which is his profile information, whether it's her transactions, whether it's where else does she shop, if I can get that information, where does she spend her time, what has she said about my business? So the feedback that I get from a customer. What are the signals that she's sending to my business, right? So what I mean by that is when I send out a communication, some customers or other customers may click on some communications. They may not click on certain other communications. They will open certain communications. They may not open and read certain other communications. Given this, all of these signals, all of this information needs to be consolidated into one place where I can then utilize and tap into very quickly to take actions for this particular customer. If I do not build my structure, right, all of the other 4 levers that I'm showing you over here cannot happen. So structure is super critical. It allows me to build a CDP. It allows me to segment my customers into various cohorts and groups, which allows me to be actionable with these customers. The next one is timing it to perfection, or timing as most, as you would have heard the previous speaker mention. Why is timing important? Again, coming to the travel business, which is one of the businesses which I really associate with besides fashion. There are people, and there are people in this particular panel itself, or in this particular forum itself, who will always take, let's say, a summer vacation. That's when their kids' holidays get over. That's the perfect time for them to go and travel. So for a hotel business or for a flight business, it's very important to communicate to this customer more just before summer is arriving or landing. That is very critical. So for instance, if I'm communicating once a month to this particular customer during winters or during the other periods, I possibly need to send him a communication once every week before summer comes in, and possibly during early summer. This allows me to gain market share and revenue from this particular customer. Of course, what you communicate is important, but that timing is super critical. So this is customer A. There will be another customer B who always travels during Diwali, and that's my example. I always travel during Diwali. There is a market for people who absolutely do that. For me, it would be very important for someone to actually flag out a communication in starting, let's say, September or August, when I want to look to travel. I don't travel in summers, but that's when I prefer traveling for my vacations. Someone else would probably travel during the New Year, Christmas period. These are 3 different groups that I've just pointed out, right? I cannot send out the same communication at the same time and burn the same amount of money behind each customer during the full year. I will over-index on customer A during summers. I will over-index on someone like me during, let's say, Diwali breaks. I will over-index on someone else or overspend on someone else during New Year breaks. how I'm spending that particular media monies, and which I'm sure is limited for all of us, ensures that I get the best results out of what limited resources we may have. So timing is critical. Timing also means that some people like getting communication in the afternoons. Some like getting communications on a weekend morning. Some like getting communications on a Friday evening. I have to know what is going to work with each individual person. I have to be able to structure it properly and store it in my database, and I have to be able to action it. When I'm able to do that, it will lead to what we see over there, which is optimized, right? And I will cover how we could actually do that. But getting this information, storing it, and acting on it on the right timing is super critical. The third important player or lever in this is socialize. All of us, I'm sure 99% of people in this room will have a smartphone. We have text messaging, we have WhatsApp, we have now what is Google's RCS if you're an Android user. And if you're an iPhone user, you will have RCS soon. So you do get notifications, you get direct messages which are pushed to you on your phones, right? However, those are messages which are being pushed to you. They are sent to your inbox. They are sent on your phone. They are pushed, essentially, right? What we've realized is discoverability from the customer's end while he or she is doing something else is also very important. And that's why I've said socialize. In a business like travel or fashion, it's very important to let the customer, let's say for instance, if she's browsing Instagram or he's posting something on Facebook, and after that, he is able to see relevant content, or she is able to see that relevant message for her on her screen where she's in a relaxed setting, where it comes in as part of your organic feed, or it looks at least almost as good as your organic feed, but it's attractive enough for him or her to take that action, right? Which is, in our case, shopping at a store or online. In the case of a hotel is, going and making a booking for a particular vacation. So by socialize, what I really want to impress is you have to be there where the customer is, which is on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Snapchat. And I'm talking about direct marketing, right? I'm not talking about new customer acquisition over here. I'm saying even for retained customers, I need to be able to ensure that I run a particular campaign for these customers, which is relevant to him on one of these channels, depending on the timing or the channel which he or she prefers, so that he or she can see this particular content which is relevant. What it also allows me to do is land close to 6 to 8 impressions in a month with this particular customer without getting her irritated, which in direct marketing happens, right? We don't like receiving too many messages or WhatsApps right now. But if I see an ad 5 or 6 times, I will not notice that it's come to me 5 or 6 times. It still registers with me though. So socialize is a very critical lever. Then there is the queen of it all, which is personalize, right? I'm just going to play a short video clip, and I'm just going to take you through what we've recently done. So this is 5 different links, as you can see. These are 5 different links for 5 different customers, which we generated. Each of these links has products which are recommended and personalized for each individual customer. This was not done for 5 customers. This was done for almost 1 million customers. And this is capability that we now have to do. If you build your tech stack properly, you are able to do this. Let's just see what happens. So this is link 1. I've clicked the first link. And as you will see, there is this white and yellow t-shirt which comes in. There is this jacket which comes in a little later. There is the white t-shirt which comes in. This is for customer 1. This is customer 2. He sees a different product altogether. He sees a nice brown shirt. He sees a very nice printed shirt post that. Customer 3 sees the same print in a t-shirt because that's what he or she prefers. The shacket comes in. Some of these products may be common. This customer sees a denim as well. So again, 3 different experiences, right? All of these products, some of them are different, but the priority is completely different. While some may be common, what I'm seeing as my first, second, third product is completely different for me, completely different for you, completely different for person C, completely different for person D, as you will see. So person D will see this shacket on top, right? If you realize it was almost product number 7 or 8 in that particular listing over there. You see this shirt which no one else has gotten a recommendation for. So I'm able to today, or we are able to see and send out personalized communication to a particular customer via text message, via WhatsApp. What this enhances, or what this really does is drives a customer's experience, which is being able to show him or her what is relevant for him. And each person is different, right? So I may want half-sleeve shirts, some others may want full-sleeve shirts, some others may want t-shirts, some others may want polos, some others may prefer to buy only white t-shirts. Different experiences for different people. This is what, and this is something that we are obviously able to build and execute for, like I said, 1 million customers for each of our brands. This gives me the power to sell on relevance to a customer. I don't need to look at discounting. I don't need to look at offers. I don't need to look at spending, media monies which are really crazy. All I need to do is get this enabled for a particular customer, land it in his or her feed or inbox, and ensure that he or she clicks on it, right? The product ultimately is the hero. And that is what we have to do as marketeers, which is bring the product which is most relevant in front of the customer, and he or she will do that. So personalization is something which is very close to my heart. This was a project which we took a little while to execute, but this is something which I think is going to be the future for most businesses in the next couple of years. And finally, the king, which is optimize. Everything that we do and everything that we should do should be measured. It should be continuously improved. That's what I mean by optimize. Why do I need to do that? Is because without optimization, or rather the job of a marketer is to basically spend the right amount of money to the right people at the right time and show the right content, right? So optimization, if I build my structure over here properly, I will be able to optimize absolutely to the last level. Today, in my business and in other businesses, we are able to choose which channel to send a communication to for a particular customer. So we may have 5 channels, and 5 different customers will get a communication on 5 different channels. We are able to choose when to send this to a particular customer. We are able to measure whether it's working or not working. So while everyone now is aware about AI, which is Gen AI and ChatGPT, there is another piece of AI which came in a few years ago, which is machine learning, right? ML. So ML has come in. It was actually the original, the OG AI. And that's what we do. We are able to read every signal, whether you click on it, you're not clicking on it, whether you read it, don't read it. All of that leads to a different experience for you the next time, right? Which ensures that you drive maximum revenue and hence maximum profitability for our business. So that's that from me. This was a little bit around retention strategies. I'm happy to take any questions that you guys may have around any of these topics. Yeah. Sorry, can someone get him a mic, please? No, so this is not Shopify. This is a different technology called Solus, which is based on our technology called Cartify, which is our backend. But the recommendation engine comes in from an organization called Solus. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. And I hope the rest of the sessions are as interesting. Thank you.
Okay. So thanks a lot, Mr. Tejani, for sharing the knowledge on strategies for increasing customer loyalty. To do the felicitations, I request Mr. Zahid Gawandi, Vice President and Head of Marketing and Corporate Communications at SBI Securities to please join us on the dais.